Okay, so we have several on watch today. It looks like a lot better of a day today than it was yesterday. We have NRSN, it's making new highs on its daily chart. Not so sure how I feel about a pre-market. It's kind of fading at this point. I don't really have any target on the daily. It's kind of just, I don't really like this one. Like, honestly, I don't really like this stock, so I'm not interested in it much. But we'll keep it on watch regardless. It is our leading gapper. We have RPID. This is another one that's on watch. ASPN, but ASPN's way below its VWAP and everything, so I don't think I'm gonna mess with this one. REV. This is another one that's we got burned on it several times, but it is popping. And then RDBX. We did trade this one several times as well. Low volume, but still potential in this stock. Look at REV. Okay, so ASPN is the only one that's easy to borrow so far. I don't think I'm gonna trade it to the short side just yet, but it is the only one. ASPN. I don't know which one to trade so far though. They're all looking kind of trash. RPID is farming a symmetrical triangle, and it doesn't look too bad here. But I would want to wait for the next 5 minute maybe. I don't know. I'd want to make sure that it chooses the right direction. Confirms to one side at least. REV popped back up here. NRSN doesn't look too bad either for break of VWAP. I'd rather see it break VWAP and then hold above. If we can see that strength, then I'll probably consider trading it. RAV doesn't look too bad. Let's see, the high here is what? 561. Doesn't look bad. I just don't know if I want to trade this one just because of the choppiness that it has from prior trades on it. Could wait for the next 5 minutes. I think that's what I'll do, is wait for the next 5 minutes on this one. NRSN touched view up here, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be holding much longer. Let's go to RPID. ASPN. That was a big rejection on NRSN right there. So I guess there's nothing significant about today either. Yesterday was about the same. That's why I was focused on meta the whole time. So REV finally breaking out here. We'll go ahead and take an entry at 519. We'll get in here for the break of 528 potentially on the next 5 minute candle that's going to open here. So I'll average into this one. I'll take a small size here at 300 shares, and we'll average into this one for the next 1 minute high to break. Still, we just hit the 40-second mark here, so we still got a little time. It's 34 right there, so sold right there. Pretty early maybe, but get in here again for the break. There's 40. Selling at 43 if I can. Oh, I guess I was gonna, dang. I canceled my order to not sell there, but turns out I sold there. That's okay. So we got 50. The daily high is 61. See if we get a 2 candle pull, or at least a 1 candle pullback here. I can buy off support at 30. We're gonna step up our share size now that we're a little green here. It's the double top in this 1 minute candle so far. Wanted to pull back. Could have bought that dip there, but I'm kind of nervous. I wanted to pull back at least 2 candles, or at least show that it has strength to hold these highs. Because if it doesn't have the strength, then it's kind of pointless buying a dip here. Could buy around VWAP if it breaks this low of 515. But then the 5 minutes going to be completely red. So I want to see if this is going to hold for sure. And then my next target would have to be the break of 552, but now it's getting pretty extended from its high. Pulling back a little too much at this point. The 5 minute looks really weak now, especially because it already broke. The daily high's right there though, so I still feel like can break it, but judging by this 5 minute, I don't know. Buy the dip here at 27, 500 shares. We'll look for a pop above its last 1 minute high here if we can get it. It's 28. It's not gonna do it. Hit the bid there, 25. Well, 23, I guess. So now the 1 minute MACD's crossing. It's not showing the strength to hold it anymore. It's a small loss there. 500, well, 4-cent loss. Where did I really sell? 524. 524 by 524 is what it shows here, but now it's popping up here. I should have held. I wasn't down much. So there's a rejection now. So not a bad buy there. I should have held a little longer to try and sell in the 30s, but after it didn't show much support, I just decided to get rid of it. Next 5 minutes gonna open low as well. Let's go to RPID. So nice recovery on RDBX here, but now we're getting a rejection. Okay, I like RDBX here. If it can show some strength and hold above, we could continue breaking 750. It touched 750 there, but if we can do it again here on this next 1 minute, I'll probably take an entry here. Okay, I'll wait for this to solve itself. Let itself do what it needs to do. We'll wait on it, because now it's kind of forming a descending triangle here. NRSN's popping back up again. It's too bad these aren't easy to borrow because I would be shorting some of these. I want to see if RDBX is going to keep holding up here. Breaking a high right there, so now it's showing a lot of strength here. It's just there's not a lot of volume in this one. It's 49 now. Are we going to see a massive rejection? Let's see if we break 40 again. Or if it continues holding. It's 50. There's the 40-second mark here. Spreads are still a little big. We are getting increasing volume here. But unfortunately, it's red. There's a break of 40 on the bid. I want to get in here at 44, but I don't want it to flush below that last 1 minute candle and break view up once more. That's kind of why I'm not taking an entry here. It's 41, 40. I think this has potential to turn because this next 5 minutes going to open here. There's the break finally. I was like, I think it's going to have to break. There's the break. Now the next 5 minute open really low. Now it doesn't look good at all. So good thing I didn't take my entry there where I wanted to after getting that choppiness rejection in that range. RPID sideways still. ASPN pulling back here. REV. This one's kind of done. NRSN sideways. BBBY in the scans. Wow, look at this one. Okay. This one doesn't look too bad. 5 minute high already broke. We gotta find out what we want to do with this one. I'm gonna need a pullback before I take any position on it. Seems a little choppy, but I'm not entirely sure how this one's been trading, so I don't want to say anything just yet. Let's see if this next 1 minute is gonna pull back a little more. Let me double check on all the other stocks. We're watching NRSN. This one's kind of flagging here. I do like it for the next 5 minute candle to make its new high, maybe even 10. But the 10 minute MACD looks like it's coming to a close, and that's what makes me a little nervous. So I'm anticipating a false rejection or a false breakout. I mean, with RPID, the 5 minutes also coming to a close. I'm not really feeling it. ASPN, I'd be looking for a short, but it's too slow for me. RAV curling back up here. 5 minute doesn't look too bad. We could watch it if it can break back above view up and hold above 520. RDBX breaking lower, LYT, and now BBBY. So BBBY closed around 5. Didn't break 5 just yet, but it is bouncing off of 5. If this can hold around 510, somewhere in that range, then I think this will look okay for the next 5 minute candle. Look at that climb. This one seems a little choppy for me as well. There's a double top there. Oh, and this one is easy to borrow too. Yeah, I shouldn't trade this one. If I do trade, it's going to be to the short side because it looks like it's a little too choppy. And then I'll wait for the next 10 minute to open here. Take a position on this high break. Now it's slowing down a lot. It's not making a huge rip. At 515 there, you see sellers stacked all in the teens, and then there was a big one there at 515. It's 507 now. See what this wants to do. Float's really high on this one too. Let's make sure we're not missing anything on these other stocks. REV. Coming back up here. I do like its next 5-minute RDBX. Also curling up. If it can hold above 745, that would look pretty good. ASPN. Not really interested. RPID. NRSN. NRSN's kind of breaking high here. I don't mind NRSN if it can break above VWAP. 420 would be the major point of I guess a shift in momentum. Let's go back to BBBY though. I'm gonna enter for a short here at 520 or 518, I guess. Looking for a rejection. It broke its high and now I'm expecting a rejection back down, just based off of its choppiness and how much it's slowed down already. It is a strong stock, so I might be making a huge mistake here, especially on such an early entry. There's no indication that it's gonna happen, but just judging by its choppiness and how much it's slowed down already, that's why I took a position. But now it's showing more strength, so I might be completely wrong on this. Question is, how far am I gonna let this run, and will I average into it? I'm in at what, 518? So okay, I see exactly what I'm doing wrong here. It's a bull flag. I didn't even realize this, Jesus. So we got a huge leg up, bull flag, second leg up, and I imagine this is gonna pull back again. This could come back down to 5, but one, I'm way too early on the position, and 2, I mean, it is showing a lot of strength on all its time frames, so 10-minute, 5-minute, whatever. So I'm down on it, but not by much. I was down a decent amount, about 10 cents. But it's showing a lot of strength up here at this point, so I'm going to consider selling when it pulls back here. If it pulls back, because it is getting really extended. Off its VWAP at least. So let's see, I'll sell for a break-even trade if we can break lower here. Depending on how hard it flushes, if it does, then I'll sell for a small loss. See where it wants to go though. Let's see if we can break 20 here and end up in the teens once more. There's 18, 17, 16. I could get rid of it here. Depending on how this finishes, if it can keep holding below the in the teens, we can definitely see a further push, because now the 5-minute looks like a doji at this point. So we can possibly see continuation to the downside. There's 15 now, 13 now. I'm gonna try and sell at 14 if I can. Just get rid of it already. So I just got filled there at 14. Could have kept holding, because now we're gonna break into this 10 teens level. Or we're gonna break through the teens level and into just the regular numbers like 5, 1, 2, 3, whatever. We're gonna break into that level, especially because the MACD's curling back to the downside. So way too early on my entry. I should have known this was a bull flag setup. I couldn't recognize that fast enough. So that was an issue. I was still more or less right on the trade on it coming down, but I was way too early on my entry for sure. And it was already flagging, and then it broke to the high side. It wouldn't have made sense for me to shorted it right here. That wasn't a very good trade. But regardless, I mean, it pulled back. I waited for it to show that it had some weakness to pull back here, and that's what we got. So thankfully, it ended up turning out in my direction, but at the same time, it was kind of, you know, a lot longer than I anticipated, but a lot earlier of an entry. This would have been a better trade right here if I would have been paying attention to NRSN instead of that stock. So we'll go ahead and keep NRSN on watch. This one I said as long as it can hold above 420, we're pretty good, pretty much solid. We can go for this pre-market high here of 477, and this one's also 483. So that would be our target. See what this wants to do. 5 minute already broke its high, not by much. We can try and average into it, but I think I will take a little bigger of a share size. I know I'm up today now, but I don't want to risk it all on a large size trade. I want to see a proper pullback though. We had a nice breakout here. I just wasn't paying attention to the stock. My entry should have been here above VWAP at 413. So let's see if this breaks lower on a pullback. I could potentially take an entry around 420. If this just keeps going without me, then oh well, I'm going to have to wait for a proper pullback on it. I'm not going to chase it up here. It's a double top at 440. Slowing down. It's 43. It needs to pull back here, and it shouldn't be breaking its highs over and over and over, because then it's just going to slow itself down. It's running out of steam. RPID does not look bad here either. It's pretty much pulling the same exact move as NRSN. Could average into this one. I want to take an entry at 35. Make sure it can hold above view up, I guess. This one's really choppy. It doesn't make me feel confident wanting to trade it, knowing that I can't even do that. Nasty rejection on NRSN, so I was waiting for a proper pullback on it, but like I said, with it making new highs on each candle by the slightest, I was only expecting a rejection or a bigger pullback than necessary. So that's exactly what's going on here. No strength to this one. This one's kind of dumb for me. REV doesn't look too bad as long as because it's still holding all these lows here. So as long as you can pop back above, the 5 minute is looking weak on the MACD, but if it can show some strength to the high side, we should be solid. RPID doesn't look bad as long as it can break above 440. I wanted to see this candle hold above 440 around 445. We could see a pullback, a micro pullback on this candle, and then a rip through 450. But it seems really choppy. HCVI sitting in my scans, not sure why. BBBY, let's check on this one again. BBBY is pulling back a little too much, but it doesn't look too bad. It's just its 10 minute doesn't look the strongest here. We need to recover. We could get in for a possible pullback around 520, but I don't see this doing much. If it can break its 10 minute low here, I don't know what the low is, like 509. If it can break its 10 minute low of 509 and then pop all the way back up to 520, like that would be really impressive, and I would definitely take a trade for the break of this high of 525. BHAT, NRSN. ASPN, REV, still sideways. RDBX, popping back up here. This next 10-minute doesn't look so bad for the break of 750. It's taking a little longer than I expected as well, but it does potential. I don't want to dismiss it completely. BBBY. So like I said, we could have taken an entry for the potential move to 520 here. It could break its 5-minute high. I just don't want to trade this one. This one's a little too choppy for me as well. NRSN. With that rejection from NRSN, it's going to be hard for it to want to do anything. It'd have to break 427 for me to be interested. 427 shows some strength up there. Right now, it's just kind of, it's whatever. SCWO. I like REV here. Now it's finally breaking above. So it broke its 5-minute high. Now it's breaking above view up here. My target would definitely be this high of 529. See if this next 1 minute can hold above here. I'll take 500 shares to start. Take it at 19, I guess. See if we can get the breakout here. Big seller at 20. Might have to just hit the bid. We can't move him. A lot of buying going through, but not breaking. So I'm selling with a break-even trade there. And as soon as I sell, it moves. Cool. It was just too big of a seller there. I didn't feel comfortable. I was expecting a bigger push. I'll still get in for this next 1 minute. The high here is 529, so that was about a 10-cent loss in commission there. 519 by 519. Big sellers here though. Jeez, I wish I would have held a little longer. So we are forming a double, like a cup formation here. I don't know what this is. Could be a double bottom technically. That means we'd have to come all the way back up here, retest that high. Could have gotten in there on that pullback. That would have been a nice entry right there for the break of its 10-minute high, but didn't break it significantly here. For some reason, I feel like today's break even. I don't feel like I've really made, I know I haven't made a lot of profit on today, but I feel like it's practically break even. The market's just so choppy. I'd be super, well, I'm surprised that I'm green this week at all, just based on how choppy it is and how slow the market is. I'm not green by much, but still, RDBX does not look bad either. It's making the same move as REV. For some reason, I have a little more confidence in RDBX, though. It seems like it's sitting up a lot better than REV. The break is 750 here. I'm not feeling comfortable with REV the way it's slowing down here at 530. It's just not giving me a lot of confidence. There's a break of 51 on RDBX here. What killed me on RDBX is the spreads, though. So now we have a rejection with RDBX here, all the way back down to 30s. It's practically a double bottom here as well. There's 1, 2, and now we're getting that climb back up. I don't know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what this one wants to do exactly. The next 5 minutes going to open pretty high here. I could take a potential entry around VWAP in anticipation for the next 5 minute. I can just try and get in early for the next 5-minute high to break. But I don't want to get in early and see a massive rejection through VWAP here. A random flush. There's 39. Next 1 minute's opening pretty low is what it's looking like. I'm gonna take an entry here. Took an entry at 44. I'm looking for the next 1 minute high to break out so we can see a potential move to through 50 on its 5 minute high here. If it's just not gonna do it, I'm gonna hit the bid immediately. 46 by 45, so the bid is even moving up here. Having a hard time with 46 though. This 49, can we see 50? I'm gonna take it here at 49. That's a problem with this stock too, is not getting my order filled. I'm gonna cancel and we're gonna wait for this next 1 minute since it's about to open. We're gonna look for that break of 50 on its 5 minute high here. So there's a break of 50. I'll try to sell 52 here if I can. I'm gonna hit the bid at 48. So hit the bid there at 48. It's double topping on its 1 minute. I'm not gonna hold it, trying to risk getting those last 2 cents in. I was in at 44, sold at 49. So 44 49. 5 cents. Not a big trade there. I was expecting a break of its last 1 minute high, but it just double topped at 52. Didn't quite rip out how I wanted it to. It might do it in the last couple of seconds, but it's 52 again, so it's 54 now. Like I said, I just didn't feel like waiting for it to break out on me, just because I'm already having a hard time getting filled, so I don't want to risk it. And there's the rejection now. So there's a nice pop there on RDBX. I could have entered on that last 1 minute at 50. I don't think I want to trade this one anymore though. It's already coming up. Well, it's already 10-10 basically, and everything else is kind of slowing down. This one's pretty choppy, and the spreads aren't the best. They're not huge, but they're not the worst either. And REV, wow, how did I miss this one? This literally just hit my scans right now. Wow. This literally just hit my scans. That's insane. That's ridiculous. That's a huge move. That's because I didn't want to trade it because it looked really choppy here. I'd definitely be catching the back end at this point. So nice breakout. Again, I don't know what this formation is in particular. I'm definitely going to look this up afterwards. but this looks like it's a double bottom here practically. I don't know for sure, but that's what it kind of looks like. And then now it's, I mean, you could maybe call it like this could be like a cup and handle here, I guess, and then a breakout. But I don't know, that it's just it's two tests here, so I feel like it's a double bottom, or I don't know in particular. But like I said, the target would have been this high here if 552 if that was a double bottom. And it definitely broke that level. Almost hit 6 there. That's insane. I'm so surprised I missed that. It didn't hit my scans until it was in the 80s there. That's really annoying. Guess it's my fault for not paying attention. RDBX here. Same situation. It basically double bottomed. And now it's popping all the way back up here to its last high of 72. So, right idea, just wrong stock. I wasn't watching the right stock, I guess. RPID. I feel like if I ever took a trade on this one at this point, it would be catching the back end of the move here already. Because that was a massive climb for this one. And a really impressive climb there, and it's not showing enough strength to continue to the high side, so I think this one's kind of done. And I think I should wrap it up. I've taken several trades today, a lot of trades today, more than I normally take, but it's not too many either way. So let's go ahead and see what we're up. So green on all the stocks I traded, which is great. Lost a lot of commission though, 41 in commission here. Basically break even on REV. So even though I made these two nice moves in the beginning, I sold with like a 1 cent loss here, and then I sold with a 1 cent loss here as well, practically. But those 1 cent losses, you know, each trade there was about $10 of commission. So even though I was green on it, I mean, there was still a loss, and the commissions just racked up on top of that. So wow, look at that rejection. So let's check out RDBX. Now this one's breaking out. Oh my gosh, the exact same thing that REV did. What a breakout. So literally the exact same thing, double bottom and a move higher, break through this last high, a rip through the last high really. Coming up to its whole dollar, didn't quite break, but exact same move as REV. And we're gonna get the exact same rejection with it, I'm curious. I think RDBX has a lot more volatility or momentum with it, not choppiness as REV though. REV, I mean, in the past it's been so choppy. So I missed some really good moves here towards the last couple minutes, which kind of sucks, but if RDBX can hold up around the 90 level here, I think I'll get in for the next 1 minute candle to break its whole dollar high. Like if this can finish pretty high here and the next 1 minute breaks this high but doesn't break out, it's gonna hold its level around the 90s. This would look perfect for the next 5 minute, or even, well, I guess, yeah, next 5 minute to break its high. But it needs to finish pretty high here. See what it wants to do. Because if this can break 8, that'll be even bigger. Coming up to its 50 on the daily though, 884. My question is, should I risk taking another trade even though I'm green by like 30 bucks? That's crazy. $60 in fees, 90 in profit. So 30 in reality is what I've got. That's so bad. These commissions suck. And this is why I'm considering, like, the only way to really beat the commissions at this point is taking larger share sizes. Just difficult taking a larger share size, especially in a market like this. I mean, I don't want to take a larger share size because it's too risky. Nothing's showing true strength yet. PEV just got halted. So, like I said, if RDBX holds its highs up here around the 90s, Might just get in for the break of 8. We can potentially see a break of 8, but I don't know. Is it worth the risk at this point? I think it's too far to break 8. At least here. We can potentially break it, but I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna finish up 28 and 24 cents. I didn't show my profits yesterday, but I put it in the thumbnail. But it was basically the same thing as today. Today though, we took a lot more trades. It's just the commissions started racking up quick. And I wish I would have gotten in or at least held my position here. I mean, I didn't expect them to break out the way they did, especially REV. That was so unexpected. I was watching it on this candle here, and then this candle, obviously it sorted itself out, and then it just started ripping. I didn't expect it to make that move at all, and that's why I didn't care about it. I knew it was a double bottom. I still don't know for sure. I'm gonna look it up if that's what this is. And I knew the target in that case would have been the high here, 550. But at the same time, I mean, I wasn't for sure on it, and the choppiness of both these stocks just didn't give me much confidence. So that's why I just didn't want to risk holding these positions here and just selling early. But I mean, they both made the exact same move, so that's why it's really impressive, and I can't believe I just missed out on both those opportunities. NRSN, just double check on all these stocks. NRSN, I just didn't like this one. Had like a descending triangle here, and it broke out to the high side. Cool, but I wasn't even watching it. I wasn't watching it in this range anyways. RPID hitting the scans now. RPID forming a flag here, breaking lower now. Doesn't look so bad on its next 5 minute. We finally got that breakout that we were looking for a long time ago though. Just can it hold? Everything's rejecting. Doesn't look like it's gonna hold much longer. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I will see you guys tomorrow.